Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Weedle, your World of Tanks YouTuber with the best hair. Today I have Cliff for you from the south side playing the ATT-60, which is a fairly squishy medium. Well, not fairly. It basically doesn't have armor. Uh, I love this tank, by the way. I know I've featured it several times on the channel already. Um, Probably my favorite skin in the game and one of my favorite Tier 8 premium tanks in the game. So, where do I go from this position? I'm not quite fast enough to go up the hill. They got 2 brass and a mill. If I go up there, highly likely I get farmed out. I'll probably get shot by one of the heavies or something as well. I'm not going to the far left side. There's actually a different position I like to play on this one, and it's the center area right here, and I'll show you why. One, I can get early shots in right there, even though I missed that one. I will get a reload in for this guy, get a nice fire. Never sitting here. I love the guys that run food. Obviously, I'm running food too, but you get all of that fire damage. So, this spot right here, one of my favorite spots. I am going to point out a few things that you have to be very careful of playing this location, and that's any tanks playing here. Now, in the Leopard 1, I talk about this area over here and how I play it, and I think the way I play it's better. So, they will pay for the way they're playing it throughout the game. I'll kind of highlight that. I'm also going to show that you can how to shoot tanks that are in this area. So this is a consistent, pretty high damage location for me when they allow me to stay here. If their tanks start pushing over here and they're not getting lit and we don't have anything here, this spot basically becomes impossible to play. So I noticed that they have an ATT-60 over there. Now, I think I talked about this in my other video, but you don't want to play near these rocks right here because it is easy to spot, especially if they have a tank. We have a tank over here, and I mean, who would expect an even 90 to be there? It's quite an interesting location. So if they're getting lit, I will throughout the game be able to put shots in over here with a little bit of safety because of the angle of the rocks. So obviously they will get their pokes in too. That's okay. I also see that they have a 122 and a brass over in that location, and I start thinking about poking out and seeing what I can shoot here. Now, first round doesn't go in. ATT-60 was obviously looking at me. That's okay. We'll get him back here in a moment. But tanks, honestly, right here, I get shots. It's interesting that their TS-54 went up that early, though. Very important to be playing up in this location. That's very brave. Obviously, he was getting shot quite a few times trying to play there. But generally speaking, if you got heavy tanks fighting up here, their attention is looking this way, and that allows you to poke out over here and put shots into the sides of their turrets oftentimes. I will show a couple instances where I get to do that. They don't have a lot of enemy heavy tanks on their team this game, but man, when it's a target-rich environment, you can rack up damage extremely quick. So right now I'm just kind of paying attention to my angles. I'm going to go in for another shot on this aimbot, and RNG said no, not this time. And just going to wait and go dark again. How do I know when I go dark? Well, I usually just count to plus my reload plus a few seconds, and that usually covers it. Right there, able to put a round in, quickly back into the little hidey hole here. Their low has pushed up very aggressively, which is going to allow me to put several shots into him here. And that's really the strength of this position, is you can just do this. And I know this TS-54 would love to help his teammate, but unfortunately he is not able to. And that's just the raw power of this tank right here. This DPM that was able to burn down that low so quickly. I'm already up to 2100 damage. Their ATT-60 is able to put another round into me. He's being quite annoying at this moment. So, out of curiosity, how many of you have tried playing this position for? And he spots up again. Able to get him out of the game. It's one annoying player I don't have to worry about. But back, yeah, how many of you have tried playing this position? Have you had any luck? I find that in general this is one of my highest damaging locations on this map. You can go here in a heavy tank. You can go here. Oh, so I'm looking at where this guy is actually looking. He wasn't looking at me, so I had plenty of time to load. But yeah, really curious if you come to this position. But yes, you can play heavy tanks here. You can play a light tank here. You can play squishy mediums here. They kind of will play all of the above pretty well. And this is pretty much the same way you would always play it. You just wait till you go dark. That allows you to have options, and then you shoot something. And for the most part, I play the whole game here. There's a lot of waiting, so one thing I got to be kind of cautious of. All the tanks that were playing here are now dead, right? They have a TS-54 sitting up here. If I move up, if we had hill, let's talk about if we had hill. If we had hill control, I would start moving up through here. Because he's got tanks on the hill, I can't do that. I think, alright, so I see the movement of this dead Barask, and I'm thinking, okay, he's going to use that as a hold down. It's quite a clever thing to do. I'm going to pre-aim for this shot, and unfortunately, RNG said no again. I wasn't able to get it in. The KV-4 puts a round into me. Very sneaky of him. One of those scorpions moved up, and that was quite surprising to me. Would normally not expect that of a scorpion. They're notorious for sitting back at the edges of the map with patience of a saint. So to see one move up that aggressively is quite rare. So this position, right here I have to actually spin my tank around because I don't have enough gun depression over the rear. A little bit unusual to see tanks pushed up that far and not getting extremely punished for it. Normally the BZ, the WZ would have shots, or they wouldn't even be able to push up that far. So quite interesting that he's done that, but it puts me in a bit of a predicament because now I got 524 hit points. And that's a problem because the Scorpions, if they high roll, can finish me off. The Mill and the Brass can finish me off in 2 shots, which is like, what is that? Like feels like a 1 second interclip reload. I'm sure it's like a second and a half. And the TS-54 can put both barrels into me and finish me off. So, in almost essence, I'm a one-shot. Put a quick shot into the Scorpion. I'm up to 3,600 damage. Not a bad game for a tier 8 match. I'm already very pleased with this. Let's talk about some other positions in this on this map. I rarely go over here toward the north of the map around the C9 area. It's not a spot I usually go to. You end up being very isolated from your team, and it's a very difficult position if your team doesn't take kills. So as a initial go-to spot, that's pretty much a no-go for me. The flanks over here, if I'm a hold down medium or something, you can do quite well right there. Bounce the Barask, because of course I did. But this position, really strong for hold down mediums. Eventually you can move on up through here. Now this spot, let's talk about positioning and why I can't really do anything yet. So they have a Scorpion here. There's a Scorpion here and a TS here. They can all one-shot me. So I can't push this way because that would open up myself to the TS-54. And if I go this way, the Scorpion over here can shoot me. So I'm in a bit of a crossfire as far as pushing, so there's not much I can do at this exact moment other than wait. And waiting is sometimes one of the hardest things to do, especially when you don't have a good option and you need them to move, and you're already at a one shot more or less. So here, it's just a matter of waiting. Is this guy going to poke up enough to let me shoot him, or do I go for the TS? Honestly, I probably could have done one or the other and got away with it. The Brass, I see him. Am I going to get the kill shot? Not this time. Now, usually what happens here is that tank ends up killing me because that's the way it always seems to work for me. Is I'll miss and then he puts his rounds into me and I'm dead. It's World of Tanks for you. So now it's right at the end of the game. I need to try to get another shot in. Just hope the TS-54 doesn't put both barrels in me. And get the final shot in. I finished the game with 3,800 damage, almost 700 spotting. A solid game, honestly. Um, and this position yields those kind of games to me quite regularly. Well, end up in the high threes, fours, uh, pretty consistently from that position. It's not a position that gets played often enough, in my opinion. Um, if you don't have hill and they get hill, another thing that's really important to do is kind of keep a tank running the edges of this, and that's to keep these tanks proxy lit so they can't just use these bushes to snipe into your teams. Um, but that's it for the video, guys. If you like these guides and you want to see more of them, please subscribe. Um, and like the video if you thought it was pretty good. It helps with the algorithm, and I appreciate it, guys, and hope to see you in some matches. Good luck to you, and have a good night.